Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again on another episode of Gaffer and Gear. In today's episode, I just want to show you some of the little tricks and hacks that I've got on set. So the first little trick I'm going to show is how I adjust the angle of small lights using a shop bag. And then I'm going to show you how I hang my tube lights on wires in a method that is quick and easy to adjust and also looks really neat in shot. All right, so let's go through my little shop bag hack if you're using small lights. So quite often I do jobs in car interiors where I need to light up a passenger footwell or something like that. And I'm trying really hard to mount a light into a corner, maybe under the chair. And it's very difficult to adjust the angle that it's on because the articulated arm or the stand that it's on is now behind the light. It makes it very awkward to reach. So here's my tip. A lot of our small lights have magnets on the back, or you can mount a magnet to them. And shop bags are full of metal, so they stick together. Right, so here's what I do. I fold the shop bag in half. And the reason I fold the shop bag in half is that now gives me a curve. All right, so I can use that curve to adjust the angle of the light. Now here's the icing on the cake. You can put more than one light onto the same shop bag to give you some spread. All right, so let's go through my hack here for hanging tubes off wires. So I'll just explain what we've got. So the wire is picture hanging wire. So it's a metal wire that's covered in plastic. All right, so if you Google search that, you'll be able to find rolls. So a roll like this is 252 meters. So that's about 800 foot. And this is about 15 Australian dollars. So I'm guessing about 10 US bucks. So it's really, really cheap. And the hooks I'm using are called picture hanging wire hooks, 7.5 millimeter. So they're about 5 Australian dollars each. Now how these work is your wire goes through the hook. So the hook has a hole at either end, but make sure you've got your wire nice and straight first. Otherwise it won't feed out the hole at the opposite end that you're putting it through. So feed it in the one end, try and get it through. I might do a bit of swearing here. It doesn't look like it wants to go. So that's the release there I'm pressing. Okay, got it through. And I also use the adjustable hook at the other end as well. You don't have to, but trust me, it's a lot easier. So let's put that through. Okay, so I'm just going to push down on the release. The release is the locker. And let's see if I get it through. Didn't quite have it straight enough. Let's try again. So this is probably the most frustrating part of the whole exercise, is getting onto the hook. Especially when you're not wearing your glasses. There we go. All right, so next I'm just going to put a bit of weight onto the end of the hook here to show how it works. All right, so I've just attached a Leatherman at one end just to supply a bit of tension to the wire so you get an idea of how these hooks work. All right, so if I want to move the hook down, all I have to do is grab it and move it. But if I want to move it upwards, it's locked. Okay, so in order to unlock it, you press here, press up there, and then you can adjust the height. Or the other way to look at it is I can pull the wire through the hook, but if I want the wire to go down, then I have to press the release there. So let me explain how that works. All right, so this is a ball bearing locking system in here. So when you push down here, there's ball bearings in this section, and those ball bearings get separated away from the wire. Okay, and then when the release goes back up, the ball bearings go back into place and they push against the wire, supplying enough tension to hold it into position. Now, I forgot to mention how I came across this in the first place. So this stuff is designed to hang pictures in galleries. So I was doing a shoot in a gallery and they had picture frames hanging in the middle of the room from the ceiling. And that's how I first came across this stuff. All right, so how I've got it mounted here, I've just got a pole and I'm just using zip ties just to give me something to put the hook onto. So you might find a better way of doing that. I'm just using zip ties because that's convenient. And you don't have to use two hooks, but I think two hooks is the best way to do it because if I need to adjust the height, I can adjust it at this end, okay? At the end that's not in camera shot, okay? So imagine this is like a meter up from the camera position. All right, rather than doing it at this end and then having to trim the wires, it's much easier to do it at the end that's not in shot. All right, but Here's something to be aware of. This happened to me on the very first shoot where I used these. All right, so in order for the hooks to unlock, you have to press down on them. Now, on the shoot I was on, we had a cameraman with an easy rig, and the easy rig got caught against the wire and pressed down on the locker. Now, the reason this tube isn't unlocking and swinging out is because I've tied a little knot in the end of the wire there. So tie a knot at each end and you won't have any tubes go swinging. Now, I just want to show you how strong the connection is on the hooks. Now, if you're really concerned about the hook coming loose, you don't trust this locking mechanism, you can buy picture hooks that have screws in the side, so they screw directly into the wire, but then you don't have quick adjustment. I'm Andrew Locke. Thanks for watching Gaffering Gear. Take care.